The first part of this episode will be a montage of week 7 and week 8 works, mainly aircon installation and some electrical works.
The second part highlights all the works done for the common bathroom over weeks 9 to 12. So many vendors were involved in bringing this room to life: plumbing, sintered stone, carpentry, glassworks, LED and acrylic panel installation, and of course the vendors we seem to see the most often, our tilers who used the wrong tiles.
Yeah, it was only after the lights were installed, waste cleared and floors cleaned that the flooring showed their true colours. Really, what the...
Hope you're still with us after that long montage. Week 7 started with carpentry measurements with our ID's vendor. This is an extremely important meeting, so make sure you attend it for carpenter and ID. After the measurements, they will prepare the 2D drawings for your review and comments. We'll go into details for all our carpentry over the next few episodes, so stay tuned.
Our bathroom is relatively straightforward. Our only request here is for our carpenter to include this little house for our tissue packet. This idea actually came from our Alaska cruise this year and I'm glad Sam remembered it.
Yes, that and also our cabin had quite a lot of curved carpentry which convinced us that it is possible to save space aesthetically, especially in small living quarters.
Here is how the final carpentry looks like. Hope this inspires you too. And don't forget to give your carpenter the exact measurements of your favourite tissue product.
Remember our bubblegum vendor? We also engaged Mr. Xia and the team from Wisdom Care to do epoxy grouting for the rest of our tiles. Mr. Xia personally came down to lay some recommended colours for us. helping us to narrow down the dozens of colours to the top 3 for each wall.
Most of the colours were easy to decide except for the common bar feature wall, which we enlisted the help of our IG followers to vote on. We couldn't decide between gold or muted, but your votes made it easy for us.
The process is quite fast-free, simple degrouting of existing grout, application of a secret formula not shown on film, and then injecting the epoxy grout. A few hours later, they return to peel it out and touch up.
The end result is stunning. Grout lines never look so beautiful, and we believe its durability and resistance to stains and mold is worth every cent. You can reach out to Mr. Sia and don't forget to quote us for a 5% discount.
Unless you're on the top floor, most HDB BTOs today come with a mesh to hide the bathroom pipes. Not sure who first came up with this brilliant idea, but it's very mainstream now to throw in a light strip or T5 tube and substitute the mesh with acrylic panels. There are many vendors out there, but not all of them offer the seamless version that we want.
We found a humble studio run by a father and son duo. We were impressed by their service, and if you are keen to engage them, remember to use our promo code for a 5% off. One tip would be to spend some time to clear the dust inside the box up. You'll be shocked at the amount of dust above, especially if you had tiling works done. Cleaning away the dust would also ensure that 3M stickers last longer.
We also took some time to understand how toilet bowls work and set up some of our requirements when shopping for them.
The original dream was to have a fancy wall-hung bowl, but we decided to save thousands of dollars and keep it simple.
First step is to identify the type of trap that your home requires. Simply put, if the hole is in the wall, it is P-trap. If the hole is in the floor, it is S-trap. Most HDBs are S-trap. Next, take measurements as shown on screen. For S-trap, simply measure from the middle of the hole to the wall.
Our criteria includes one piece finish that can be flushed to the wall for a slicker look. It must be rimless, so there won't be any awkward gaps for mold and bacteria to gather.
And have a strong tornado flush system that draws on the power of physics for efficient water use. We found these in Regal's Gallon WC9030S, so do check it out if you're lazy to research.
We got our waterfall tap from some random sellers on Lazada. Our basin is also from Regal. This is the Pebble LS5010. We really wanted the tap to sit atop the basin so the water is contained and it would not drip out whenever we close the tap.
Because this girl, no matter what, also made the whole area wet one.
Hey, where God?
You see this slow-mo lah.
It landed inside, huh?
As this shower will only be used in extraordinary cases and mainly for Mr. to do his business, we opt for a single glass panel and no doors whatsoever as the toilet is cramped enough. We requested our ID to do a curved edging, which turned out pretty alright.
However, we are a tad disappointed that our ID did not introduce or give us the option to do a recessed U channel, as explained in our tiling episode. When we inquired about it, he asked us why didn't we tell him beforehand.
Comparing the two options, there's really so much silicone caulk in the exposed version. Really look like the Sauron's castle in Mordor. Eventually it'll be overrun with the darkness of mold.
And then it shall become Moldor.
Yeah, it really looks super unrefined, but I guess it still looks okay if you look at the big picture.
Anyway, we replaced our common bath door with this modern looking one from S&K. At first we wanted to keep the HDB toilet door, but it was super hard to use and people actually got trapped in it. Swing slide doors like this are more intuitive and won't give any awkward moments to your guests.